A YouTuber's death can either cement their legacy as a beloved legend or a horrible person. From Technoblade to Elliot Rodger, who died after committing a massacre, here are 9 YouTubers who inspired her horrify the world. Starting with Cooking with Lynja, who is very popular on YouTube, and TikTok having an impressive 30 million followers across all platforms. She was known for engaging in quirky cooking videos. Got a big one, it's huge, were her fun, wholesome style. Made it feel like the world was at peace the moment you stumbled onto her feed. Comments read, like a hug, she's the type of grandma we all need. In 2019 she shared that she'd been diagnosed with throat cancer, later esophageal cancer. Even then her updates carried the same brightness. Hope, a joke, a new recipe to try. On January 1st, 2024 at age 67, she passed away after years of treatment. Viewers didn't just lose a creator, they lost a daily dose of warmth. Tributes called her one of the most positive voices on the internet. And that's exactly how she'll be remembered. Legacies aren't always simple. Take Plasma Mastodon, an older YouTuber who built a gentle following with lo-fi song covers and a calm, grandfatherly vibe. Fans discovered him on tough days and stayed for the comfort. As his channel grew, so did scrutiny, and disturbing reports about his past surfaced in forums and public record threads. Within days of that controversy coming to light, news of his death spread in December 2020. For many, the whiplash was real. A channel that felt safe now felt complicated. Whatever you think of the man, his footprint online is a reminder that the internet can elevate, expose, and eulogize a person almost at the same time. His story blurred the lines between nostalgia and discomfort, leaving audiences torn between mourning the art and confronting the artist. Some longtime fans deleted playlists, others left comments frozen in time beneath covers that once made them smile. In a way, his passing symbolized the uneasy truth of digital fame, that the past always catches up, and that every creator's legacy lives in the tension between how they were seen and who they really were. Then there's Apetor, Norway's icy daredevil with a mischievous grin. His videos were equal parts frigid adventure and childlike joy, skating on new ice, plunging into freezing water, raising a tin cup to the camera before a frosty dip. A late November upload titled, "I am not dead, I'm 57 today," felt like classic Apetor humor, until real life intervened. Days later, during a solo outing on thin ice near Kongsberg, he fell through and didn't surface in time. Friends and family wrote goodbyes that felt like postcards from another era. Thank you for the laughter, the courage, the reminder to feel the world instead of scrolling past it. He lived exactly the way he filmed, curious, fearless, stubbornly alive. His passing hit differently because there was no scandal, no darkness behind the camera, just a man chasing the purest form of joy. Fans still revisit his channel in winter, calling his videos therapy for cold hearts. Every splash, every laugh, every breath visible in the frosty air now feels like a tiny celebration of being alive. Proof that wonder can coexist with danger. And that joy, once shared, doesn't freeze when the creator is gone. Some legacies terrify. Elliot Rodger, spelled R-O-D-G-E-R, left behind videos seething with grievance and entitlement. The rants escalated into a 2014 killing spree around Isla Vista that left 6 victims dead and many more injured before he died himself. His uploads now sit in archives and documentaries as a study in narcissism metastasizing into violence. If Technoblade became a symbol of grace under pressure, Rodger became a warning about unchecked bitterness curdling online. His manifesto and videos revealed a disturbing fixation on status and rejection, a delusion that attention equaled worth. He believed the world owed him affection, and when it didn't comply, he turned his loneliness into vengeance. Years later, psychologists and digital scholars still cite him as an early case of radicalization through isolation, a young man who confused validation for justice and turned the internet into an echo chamber for hate. His story endures not for who he was, but for what it exposed, how obsession, envy, and entitlement can fester in silence until they explode. On the other end of the spectrum sits Etika, Desmond Amofa, whose energy could light a room through a screen. Joy-Con boys, over-the-top Nintendo hype, a laugh that made you laugh. But the audience that adored him could also overwhelm him, and when his mental health faltered, the feedback loop turned cruel. Police wellness checks, hospitalizations, a final video that felt like an apology and a goodbye. In June 2019, his body was found in New York's East River, and the internet went still for a day that felt like a week. Etika's legacy is both love and lesson. Pay attention when someone says they're not okay, and don't turn pain into content. His passing changed how creators and fans talk about burnout and emotional exhaustion. Words like "take a break" suddenly carried more weight. Fellow streamers raised awareness for mental health in his honor, and murals appeared across New York painted in his signature neon colors. Even years later, his name surfaces whenever a streamer opens up about struggling, a reminder that behind every highlight reel is a human being, and that empathy, not engagement, is what actually saves lives. Rich Piana, the bodybuilding behemoth with a camera-ready charisma, told viewers the truth many hid. He used performance-enhancing drugs and accepted the risks. Millions tuned in for his size, stayed for his unfiltered hustle talk, and wrestled with what happened next. In 2017, he collapsed, was placed in a medically induced coma, and died weeks later at 46. The fitness world mourned a motivator and debated a system that rewards extremes until they become a cage. His mantra, "Whatever it takes," once meant discipline and drive, but after his death, it echoed with caution. Fans revisited his vlogs not just for gym inspiration, but for glimpses of vulnerability between sets. The rare moments he admitted the toll behind the muscle. Even his critics acknowledged that Piana's openness changed the culture, forcing conversations about steroids, mental health, and body image that the industry long ignored. He lived loud, lifted heavy, and died honest. A man who turned transparency into both his brand and his warning label. If you ever laughed yourself to sleep, you probably know Angry Grandpa. Charles Green's volcanic outbursts, tag-teamed by his son Michael's setups, turned kitchen mishaps into YouTube legend. Over time, the pranks gave way to health updates, cirrhosis, pneumonia, skin cancer, and the audience shifted with them from laughter to loyalty. When he died in December 2017 at 67, the comments felt like a neighborhood gathering. Stories of long nights made easier by one man's blustery heart. His channel became less about destruction and more about devotion, a father-son bond that millions got to grow up alongside. Even after his passing, fans still revisit the old clips, quoting his catchphrases like family folklore. For many, Angry Grandpa wasn't just a YouTuber, he was a comfort character in real time, proof that love and chaos can coexist. His legacy lives on through Michael, who continues to share memories and unseen footage, keeping that spark of unpredictable warmth alive. What started as comedy became connection, and that's why his presence still feels like home. His laughter turned frustration into something universal, his temper into tenderness. To this day, new viewers stumble upon his videos and find themselves laughing, then tearing up, realizing they're witnessing a genuine slice of life rarely captured online. Angry Grandpa showed that authenticity doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be honest. And in a world of curated smiles, his raw emotion remains one of YouTube's most human legacies. Not every story is settled in public memory. Twomad, known for deadpan bits and a meme that defined late-night timelines, became the subject of conflicting reports and heated accusations online around the time news of his death spread in early 2024. Tributes and allegations collided within hours, claims, counterclaims, and grief all landing at once. The only certain thing was how fragile creators can be behind the punchlines and how quickly the internet can turn a wake into a courtroom. For viewers, it raised a hard question. What do we owe the truth, and to whom, when a timeline demands instant judgment? The chaos blurred mourning with speculation, empathy with outrage. One moment, fans were remembering a creator who made them laugh. The next, they were dissecting unverified claims in real time. It showed how parasocial closeness can amplify both compassion and cruelty, how the same audience that builds someone up can also tear their memory apart. In the end, Twomad's story became less about guilt or innocence and more about the cost of online legacy. The way a life can be rewritten in comment sections before the facts even settle. And then, back to where we began, Technoblade. The Minecraft tactician with the driest delivery and the wildest combos. He announced his cancer with a joke, updated us with more jokes, and in So Long Nerds, let his family share a letter that sounded exactly like him. Grateful, wry, stubbornly optimistic. "If I had 100 lives, I'd choose to be Technoblade again," he wrote, and millions believed him. His death in 2022 didn't end the story, it clarified it. He showed an entire generation how to face the worst thing with humor, kindness, and a steadiness that outlived him. The chant that followed was inevitable. Technoblade never dies. Even now, fans keep building monuments in his honor, pixel shrines, charity events, art collabs, all echoing that one idea. Legacy isn't measured in years, but in impact. His final message became a guidepost for creators everywhere, a reminder that authenticity and gratitude matter more than numbers. In the noise of the internet, Technoblade left something rare. Quiet strength disguised as laugh. If there's a thread through these 9 very different lives, it's this. The camera doesn't define a legacy. choices do. Some met the moment with grace, others turned their feeds into a fuse. Some made us braver, or kinder, or simply less alone. Others taught us to take warning signs seriously, to speak up, to log off. Death freezes a public image, but it doesn't flatten it. We carry the warmth of Lynja's kitchen, the spark of Etika's laugh, the grit of Rich's grind, the lesson of angry grandpa's love, the ice-bright joy of Apetor, the caution in Twomad's fallout, the unease around Plasma Mastodon, the horror of Elliot Rodger, and the courage of Technoblade. Legends and lessons side by side, reminding us that the internet won't remember everything we did, but it will remember who we were while we did it.